Gypsy Rose said something wild in a recent livestream. She now sees social media as her job, not a hobby, not a little outlet, a job. And suddenly, everything she's been doing online starts to make way too much sense. From exploiting her baby for views to reviewing products like she's on QVC. And let me tell you, it's not giving the energy of someone who just got out of prison after a highly publicized case. It's giving desperation. It's giving somebody scrambling for relevance, afraid to fade away now that the public spotlight is dimming. We need to talk about the social media spiral Gypsy is clearly in, because it's not just a little cringe content here and there. She's full-on spiraling, dancing like no one's watching, except we are. Oversharing deeply personal moments, attempting to shield products with zero fine sense, and once again, dragging her baby into her chaotic attempts to stay internet relevant. So let's break it all down. Let's go deeper into what's really happening here. Let's start with one of her weirdest, most try-hard moments yet, a so-called product review of Dove's Crumble Cookie collection. In the video, Gypsy pretends to be enjoying a relaxing bath while using the products, all while filming herself with her phone inside the bathroom. Think about that for a second. Who actually brings their phone into the bathroom and balances it somewhere just to create a fake ad? It was obvious she wasn't actually showering. No steam, no wet hair, no genuine vibe. The whole setup was a manufactured as a 2000 reality show scene. It looked awkward, stiff, and far more concerned about the camera angle than the actual product she was allegedly reviewing. The way she moved her hands around the body wash, trying to look aesthetic, felt forced, like she had studied influencer videos and tried copying them without understanding why they work. There wasn't a single authentic moment in the clip.
Y'all, Gypsy decided she was going to try Dove Soap's new crumble cookie line, and she done a video where, I'll just show it to you. I just gotta mute it because it has music in the background, but I'll show you the video. Here you go. I mean, she literally just gets some of the scrub out and turns the shower, reaches in, turns the shower on while she's standing in a robe, and shows her hand wetting the sponge. But I don't believe she was actually in the shower with her phone filming herself. Like, I don't know. I think she stood in the shower to film the video, but who is holding the phone? Her, if you look at it closely. In my opinion, y'all can let me know what y'all think. And then at the end, she says, I smell so good. I recommend this for all girlies. Why can't men use it if they want to? I'm sure your baby daddy Kenan would love to smell like a cookie. You know, I'm just saying, y'all.
Now, here's where it gets murky. Gypsy never marked the video as an ad. There was no sponsored tag, no disclosure that this was a paid collaboration, and not even a thank you to Dove. In influencer culture, that's a big no-no. Even a gifted PR package needs to be disclosed, but she stayed silent. When people started asking questions in the comments, she jumped in to clarify it wasn't a sponsorship, just something she did for fun. But for real, who stages a fake bath scene, edits it, and posts it on social media for fun? That's not a casual reel. That's someone auditioning. It was painfully obvious she was hoping Dove would see the video, see the engagement, and maybe toss her a brand deal. This was less of a product review and more of a social media fishing expedition. This is classic beginner influencer behavior, trying too hard without understanding how it really works. But here's the truth, Dove isn't going to bite. They're not going to partner with someone whose name immediately brings up headlines about a murder case. The brand is known for soft, wholesome campaigns about body positivity and everyday women. Gypsy doesn't fit that narrative, and even if she was sent the product as a PR gift, she still didn't disclose it. That makes it even shadier. Influencing isn't just about showcasing products. It's about trust, honesty, and transparency. All things Gypsy consistently fumbles.
But let me influence you. No, ma'am, you've influenced too much. Also, do you remember how the women in prison were saying you weren't the most hygienic? Now you're showing us what crumble cookie smells like on somebody that didn't actually get in the shower for real. Now you're showing everybody you washing up with crumble cookie and you never actually got into the water. The loofah was just wet. Yeah, you was one of them kids that would turn on the shower water and go sit on the toilet. Yeah, and based off of what the girls in prison said about you, I believe it. You know Badissi never smells good, and Badissi and crumble cookie ain't it, baby.
Let's not kid ourselves. This wasn't about the soap. It wasn't even about pretending to enjoy a relaxing bath. It was about attention, validation, and trying to insert herself into a world that she doesn't quite belong to. Because for Gypsy, the influencer grind isn't about authenticity. It's about staying visible. And that visibility, it's slowly turning into embarrassment. Now let's talk about that wild comment section. Someone wrote, OMG, here comes off. Watch and see. Gypsy, ever bold and totally unaware of her own contradictions, clapped back with, I am a lady. I would never do something as low standard as OF. Keeping it classy. Oh, really? Classy? Is that what we're calling it now? Because not to be messy, but sending explicit photos and videos to Nick in the past wasn't exactly a high tea with the queen. That was her own version of OF before it ever existed. She was out here sending all kinds of content, fully aware of what she was doing, even while being low. So, what are we doing calling anything low standard when her own documented past behavior included digital intimacy for validation and affection? This isn't about shaming sex work, it's about hypocrisy. Gypsy isn't above OF. She just doesn't want to be associated with it now because it doesn't fit the classy rebrand she's forcing online. But let's be honest. If you dig into her past, there's very little that reflects the kind of polished, modest image she's now trying to present. What she did with Nick behind bars wasn't just low-key or casual. It was obsessive. It was explicit. And it was all documented in messages and photos she now wishes we'd forget. So this new moral high ground she's trying to take, it's not giving what she thinks it is. It's giving selective memory. It's giving rebrand gone wrong. And worst of all, it's giving deeply dishonest, and she knew it too, because not long after, she deleted the comment, probably realizing she just played herself on her own post. Again, Gypsy has this habit of saying things that sound right in the moment, only to backtrack once the backlash begins. It's the cycle of her social media presence. Post, overstep, delete, pretend it never happened. And honestly, the internet doesn't forget, especially not when you're Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Now, this part, Gypsy posted a story saying her baby was on her third night of colic. For anyone who doesn't know, colic is when a baby cries uncontrollably for hours at a time, multiple days a week. That's hard. It's emotionally draining. And what did Gypsy do in that moment? Did she walk her baby, rock her gently, soothe her cries? No. She filmed it. She sat in front of the camera, made sure the angle was perfect, and pressed record. Her baby is clearly in distress, face red, eyes shut tight, body squirming, and Gypsy's there looking overwhelmed but focused on getting the content. It's performative and it's uncomfortable to watch. Was her first instinct really to grab her phone instead of comforting her baby? Or was the baby already crying and she took that moment to set up a shoot?
About this baby crying video, okay? So many people have sent me this video and wanted to see what my reaction to it was. Do y'all really want my reaction? Okay. My reaction is, it's a manipulation tactic. That whole video is a manipulation tactic because Ken is away. Let's be real. If you're a mother, like I am, then you know that babies usually don't start becoming colic at 3 to 4 months. That baby's what, 3, 4 months old now? You don't just become colic at 3 to 4 months. Usually it's a newborn thing, and then colic resolves itself at 3 to 4 months. Does that mean that's the case in every case? No. But that's the usual, that's the norm. I don't know. This doesn't look like a real mom struggling with colic. I don't know if y'all have ever had a baby with colic, but I have, and there ain't nobody setting up a camera. There ain't nobody putting it up on a tripod, pressing a button so we can catch the exact instance where, oh my goodness, I look exhausted. There ain't none of that happening when you actually have a baby with colic. It just doesn't. Because you're literally absolutely at your wit's end. You're absolutely exhausted, and you're really just trying to soothe this baby. You're upset because you don't know why the baby's crying. Normally, it's gas, okay? That's usually what brings on colic, but, you just get so upset because you can't pacify this baby, and nobody is sitting there as a mother with a child with colic, looking at a camera, looking at the whole tripod stood up there, trying to get that caught on film. That's just not a thing in real motherhood. I'm sorry, that's the truth. Do I believe that this was posted right after Ken posted that video of being in Mississippi? Yeah. I believe that this whole facade, this whole video that she put out there, was absolutely a manipulation tactic. To sit there and, one, make him feel bad and make everybody else feel bad, like, oh my gosh, I gotta be a whole mother all by myself. That's what I think on that video. I'm not looking at a mother who actually has a baby with colic. And let's be real, if that baby was colic, you wouldn't have an hour and a half to be spending on lives every Monday, because babies don't care if you're on live or anything else that's going on, okay?
Either way, this is not okay. It makes you wonder, is this child safe? Does Gypsy have supervised custody? And if she doesn't, maybe she should. Also, who diagnosed colic? A doctor? Or this is another one of Gypsy's self-created diagnosis. Let us not forget she and her attorney once claimed that her mom had Munchausen by proxy, a serious accusation that even experts questioned. If she could fabricate that, what's stopping her from faking or exaggerating her baby's condition now for sympathy online? Came the dance videos. Oh Lord, this was something else entirely. She's been trying to go viral on TikTok with these stiff, awkward, and frankly embarrassing dance videos. We're not talking cute or quirky either. We're talking full-on second-hand embarrassment, the kind that makes you stop mid-scroll and go, is she serious right now? And just when you thought she might take a step back and reevaluate her content strategy, one commenter popped up with the name Did, her late mother's name. Whether it was an intentional troll or just a coincidence, it caught attention instantly. What did Gypsy do in response? She filmed another dance, not just any dance, a trend. And the energy, still just as awkward, still just as tone deaf. It almost felt like she was trolling herself at this point. Here's where things really took a turn. At the end of her most recent dance video, she made a pew-pew hand gesture. That's right, a fake gun sign. You can't make this up. And you already know what that brings to mind. The baby gun. The one she used in the chilling moment she pointed at her own mother during the plan that led to Dido's death. The one Gypsy later claimed she didn't know, only to flip-flop and admit in another interview that she actually did. That moment was one of the biggest red flags in her entire story, one that made people question how honest and self-aware she really was about her role in the entire crime.
The end of it, she literally puts her hand in the motion of a pew-pew and does her fingers like she's pulling a trigger of a pew-pew. Okay, watch closely to the end. Right here. Y'all, did y'all see that? Right before she fell down. It's right before she falls down. She does it. See that? And this is the song Tooted Up with Cardi B in it. Okay, so it's really wild that she is doing that motion when she literally grabbed a pew-pew and used it on her mother, thinking it was a real pew-pew. And then after using it on her mom, found out that it was just a BB pew-pew. Y'all, she is getting wilder and braver and more ballsier and ballsier out here on these social media streets. Look at that. Look, like...
So what are we doing here, Gypsy? Why bring that gesture back in a TikTok dance? Of all places. Is this supposed to be irony? A joke? A rebrand move that no one asked for? It's not edgy. It's not clever. Tone deaf and deeply unsettling. It shows she hasn't learned. It shows she hasn't taken real accountability or done any deep reflection. It shows that she still sees social media as a stage, not a platform for growth or truth. She just wants views, just wants likes, and she will dig into any piece of her past, no matter how traumatic or controversial, to get them. Here's the bottom line. Gypsy isn't influencing anyone. She's trying everything. Product reviews, mom content, dancing trends, and none of it is landing. She's not relatable, she's not authentic, and her past is too dark to make people trust her enough to buy anything she recommends. She is frankly a liar, manipulator, a convicted compliance in her mother's murder that doesn't exactly scream brand deal. So who is she really influencing? A handful of delusional stans in the comments? Because brands aren't biting, views are dropping, and her attempts are starting to look more like a desperation. Here's something else that's fishy. Like seriously fishy. Gypsy constantly talks about how exhausting motherhood is. She goes on about being too busy, too drained, and too overwhelmed even to breathe. According to her, she's doing it all, caring for the baby, cooking, cleaning, barely sleeping. She's painting the picture of a struggling mom who barely has a second or for herself. But then you check her TikTok page and somehow she's got time to plan out trending TikToks, practice and film multiple dance videos, record and edit product review content, monitor her comment sections, respond to fans and haters, delete any negative backlash, and even block critics who call her out, all while supposedly juggling newborn chaos. That doesn't just seem unrealistic, it seems staged. Where is this time magically coming? Is she filming these videos during nap time? Is she doing all of this with the baby strapped in her chest in a carrier? Or, more realistically, is someone else watching the baby entirely while she creates content nonstop? Is there a nanny, a family member? And here's the real kicker. Does she even have full custody of her child? Because the amount of time, energy, and coordination her social media presence takes simply doesn't match up with the lived experience of a new full-time mom. Any parent watching this would raise an eyebrow. It's not adding up. And if she doesn't have full custody, then we're looking at an even bigger issue. Why is she portraying herself as this fully hands-on, sleepless superwoman? Is this yet another one of her exaggerated portrayals? A curated narrative to gain sympathy, views, and brand attention? A tactic to tap into the emotional side of her followers? At the end of the day, if you're presenting yourself as a struggling full-time mom while someone else is actually caring for your baby behind the scenes, it's not just disingenuous, it's manipulative, it's strategic, and it is a disservice to the very people she claims to be relating to, because struggling moms don't have the luxury of dancing through trends and curating storylines. They're surviving. So again, we ask, who's watching the baby, Gypsy? And more importantly, who's watching you? So here are we. Gypsy wants social media to be her job, but she's not doing it well. She's not influencing. She's not dancing well. She's not relatable. And she's not transparent. If she wants to build a brand, she needs to reflect, to heal, to show people real growth. Not hand signs, not mock-up, not fake reviews, not filming a crying baby for sympathy. This isn't a comeback. It's a collapse in slow motion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Gypsy is spiraling, or is this just what she thinks no more social media looks like? And if you want more deep dives like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around, because trust me, we're just getting started.